Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport, and welcome back to One Race Wonders, the series where we look at all the drivers who raced in a single Formula One Grand Prix. We have looked at so many drivers from every era of the sport, from Nello Pagani and Archie Scott Brown to Roland Ratzenberger and Pierre-Henri Raffinel, and many more. So make sure you check out the playlist after watching this video. For episode 51, we are going back in time to 1952 and look at a French one-race wonder who, despite racing in a Grand Prix, didn't actually do all that much racing. This is the life and career of Emmanuel Marcel Lucien Balsa and the story of his single appearance in Formula One. So make sure you subscribe and let's jump into the video. Marcel Balsa was born in Creuse in central France in 1909. Motor racing had only existed for 15 years at that point, and Balsa wouldn't get involved until the mid-1930s. After working as a bolt cutter and an engineer, he moved to Paris in the early 1930s and began motorcycle racing. He also spent some time in jail for brawling, so he was a feisty fellow, but also a talented racer, winning the French National Motorbike Championship in 1934 and 1937. He began racing cars in a Bugatti T35B pre-Second World War, but did little of note, entering the Pau Grand Prix of 1939, but not winning. His career was interrupted by the war. Actually, pretty much everything was interrupted by the war. It was mostly just war. Marcel Balsa returned to racing as soon as the war ended and raced a Talbot T150C before moving to a Bugatti T51 and finding some success on the national scene. Eventually, he built his own Formula 2 chassis and with a BMW engine continued to race in France. His most high-profile result from this period is in the 1950 Grand Prix des Cadors. Marcel Balsa finished third behind Johnny Simone and Aldo Gordini. In the same race, double Le Mans winner and Grand Prix legend Raymond Sommer was killed. Marcel Balsa never really became a heavyweight in motorsport, but he did at least get to do one Formula One Grand Prix at the Nürburgring. Of the 34 cars that were taking part in the 1952 German Grand Prix, Marcel Balsa qualified nicely in the midfield in 25th. The field was largely made up of German privateers in Formula 2 cars, with plenty of BMW-powered Veritas Meteors on the grid. There was also AFMs, a NAC, a Krakow, a Reef, and even a Heck. And of course, Marcel Balsa in the Balsa Special BMW. We will come back to this race several times in the future as there are a few one-race wonders in the field. Marcel Balsa survived for the first third of the race and only retired because of an engine issue. Alberto Ascari won the race and the Formula One Championship of 1952, but frankly, he was in a whole different league to the privateer F2 Brigade, of which Marcel Balsa was a part of. The only time Balsa would have seen Ascari on track was when the Italian was lapping him. And this is almost the end of Balsa's racing career. He took a win in 1953 at the Coupe du Printemps, but it was in a field of only 6 cars, and no names of renown were racing against Marcel Balsa. And towards the mid-50s, he brought a Porsche 550 Spider and raced it in a few events, taking victories in France and taking part in major events, including the 1955 Mille Miglia. He moved away from motorsport shortly thereafter, leaving behind a national-level legacy, but also a Formula One one-race wonder. After his racing career, Marcel Balsa purchased a sports car dealership and garage, and would run that for a number of years. He made a return to motor racing in 1970, when he entered a Porsche 911S alongside René Mazière in the 1970 24 Hours of Le Mans for Mazière and Pierre Mauroy to drive. The car made it to the end of the 24 hours, but was so many laps down it wasn't classified as a finisher, only doing 275 laps compared to the 343 of winning Porsche drivers Hans Hermann and Richard Atwood. Pierre Mauroy bought the car afterwards and continued to race it at Le Mans, but Marcel Balsa once more moved away from motorsport. He passed away in 1984 at the ripe old age of 75, having lived quite a life. Not a megastar of motor racing, but someone who carved out their own furrow, in the national scene at least, very briefly in the post-war motorsport world. And that's pretty much all I have about Marcel Balsa. There's not a lot of information out there about his life. So this is very much a shorter than normal episode of One Race Wonders. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you check out the One Race Wonder playlist, now with more than 50 episodes. Subscribe for more motorsport. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.